Amazing. Hi, Albert.
Hey Scout, how you doing?
I'm doing good. How you doing?
I'm doing great. Oh,
Amazing.
I gotta say I'm honored to be talking with you because I loved Rob Zombie's Halloween and I loved The Runaways, and knowing that you're in both those movies and now we're talking here about your newest film, I'm pretty stoked.
Thanks, Albert. I love that. Thank you.
So I saw Apache Junction and I love a good Western now and again. This was great and I liked how they kind of shifted things in terms of the story, where it focuses on your character as a journalist and
hmm
more like the hero being not just the hero, but more like the hero being second fiddle. And I like that. It's pretty interesting.
Yeah, I think that's instantly what attracted me to the movie when I read the script was the twist in there. 'Cause it's not your typical Western, I don't think, and I think that that's what people are going to take away from it when they watch it. Annabelle has a backbone to her, and it's not like the complete like damsel in distress, which is kind of interesting and cool.
Yeah, and I did notice that there was only like one scene in the whole movie where you look like you're the damsel in distress, and that's the pivotal point of the film. But you played that strong type, and that's something you rarely get to see in these westerns.
Yeah, exactly. And I feel like there's like a growth with Annabelle. When she's a big city reporter, so when she comes into this world, I don't think she realizes what she's stepping into. And
Hmm.
I feel like the truth that she thinks that she's going to write, it completely blindsides her, and the story is completely different. What she takes away from it.
And it doesn't help that the character is in a town full of criminals and outlaws. So that doesn't help either.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't. Which is interesting because I feel like as a woman, if you step into it, coming from a big city and you step into a town that's kind of man driven and it is filled with thieves and cold blooded killers and outcasts and not a lot of them look at females very very good. I feel like you might be a little intimidated, and that was just so cool. She was intimidated and get nervous, but she just had this backbone to her, and she was just like she put one step in front of the other, and she was very determined to find her voice and to make her way in this town.
That's awesome. And I gotta say,
Yeah.
your chemistry with Stuart Townsend was amazing. And when I first saw the trailer and saw that was him, I my mouth nearly dropped to the ground because literally just 2 weeks ago I watched Queen of the Damned, and now here I am seeing
Oh,
this,
cool.
and I was just like, "That's not him." No, what? And I'm like, "That's him." Oh my gosh! It like
I know. What a handsome man.
I was like,
Stuart is awesome. He's so cool to watch. He really, really is. He like has an ease about him,
mhm.
and in person too. That's just like it's just like big in big caps, cool. Like I was just like nothing gets cooler than Stuart Townsend. I'm like, how are you just so like suave? Like I'm like I just don't get it. Yeah, it's really interesting to watch him work, and I had such a good time with him, and getting to bounce off of his energy and mine. It was really cool.
Yeah, and I liked that. You know,
Yeah.
he's an outlaw, but yet he follows the honor code. He follows the code of honor, and that's he kind of reminds me of he's like he reminds me of the when it comes to westerns, the new guy in town who follows his code, and the really cool western guy, like kind of like Clint Eastwood's Man with No Name. Like that's who he
Yes.
kind of reminded me of, and he did it
Yes.
nicely on this one.
Yeah, and Stewart definitely pulled off that hat for sure. That hat was made for you, man.
And Trace Adkins, oh my gosh, like
Oh yeah,
he's making on his own as an actor. I've noticed in a couple of films lately. This one was a good one for him because he played more of a mastermind, like the self-proclaimed leader of that town, and I thought he did a tremendous job on this one as well.
yeah. I've been a fan of Trace. Like I grew up on country, so I like Trace Trace's music is played in my household for as long as I'm sure when I was in the womb, you know. So like I've been a fan of his for a very, very long time. So getting to work with him was a dream in itself. And you know, you hear a lot of these singers transitioning into acting, and sometimes you're a little like, it's like a big question mark. You're like, oh, you just don't know how much it's gonna be worth it acting off of a singer.
Mm-hmm.
But he was so good. He was so good. I forgot for a second that I was even acting with Trace, the country singer. I was like, my God, I mean, look great in the costume, his demeanor, it was so good. And just to see like what he's, you know, got in the works right now is just insane. And it's great for him because he has proved himself in this acting world for sure.
Oh, I totally agree.
He's a really good actor.
He's one of those who definitely made the transition from singer to actor in like such a good capacity. Like there's ones that, you know, they're there just for names, but then, you know, obviously it doesn't work out so well in certain cases.
Mm-hmm.
Then you have your mixed bags, some good, some bad, but Trace is like up there with the good ones because I saw him in another film, I think it was called The Foreigner, where he also played it was kind of like a Western, and he played a bad guy in that one too. And I'm like, this guy's destined. He's destined to do westerns. This guy's gonna be like the Western villain.
I know, but how crazy that he plays the bad guy really well. I was just like so like shocked by that. Because I just didn't think Trace Adkins villain, you know. So it was really crazy to like see, but he's so good. He really is, and his wife was in it as well, which was really cool to see them act with each other. And, you know, to see their prep. And my trailer was right next to Trace, and he had his little dog, and I had my dog. So it was like a really cute thing with like our dogs all set and stuff. It was awesome. It was a good experience.
Nice. So how long did shooting take, and were there any difficulties that you faced personally on the set, like that you felt like it kind of like drained you, or was it like just a very smooth shoot for you?
Well, I think the lack of smoothness was probably COVID, honestly. Well, COVID was like starting to be a thing when we first started to film, and we actually got shut down 2 weeks into filming because of COVID and the growth of it and quarantine. So we had to shut down production, and everybody had to go to their homes, which are all different places around the world, and to stop a movie in like the middle of it, that's just pretty crazy. And we all had to come back. I think about 6 or 7 months after, and we couldn't go back to the original location because they had gotten a makeover during COVID, so it didn't match. So we had to go find another location, a completely different location, bring back people, different crew members. It was just like, it was kind of that. I think that was probably the only stressful part of it. Once we were back on set, it was like we never left. But I think that was probably the only stressful thing.
Yeah. Oh, at least it was like you said, didn't feel like it, like you never left yet. It was like a 7-month thing. Like, yeah, it's like for me, I ended up having to work from home for like 18 months. I just finally started working back at my day job full time just a couple of weeks ago, so I know how that feels. But But now that I'm back full time, I'm like, it doesn't feel like I ever even left. It's like back to what it was before this thing happened.
Yeah, does it feel like you had that long of a break at all?
Yeah, sometimes I felt like I had a long vacation in a way, like.
Yeah, exactly.
So, but
I know that was the fun thing about it. I was like, okay. I was like, at least like take this as, I know that it's a very serious matter, but I was like, at least take this as like a recharge for yourself.
Exactly.
You know, I think a lot of people had to look within, you know, themselves and stuck in their homes. You know, and I feel like a lot of us needed to, you know, take a fucking break, chill out.
Yeah, exactly. And thankfully it helped me. I feel like I'm back to my old self again. before COVID. So
Oh,
it's
that's
like,
good. I'm so happy to hear that.
so I'm
Great.
like, I feel good. So it's like I'm ready to get back into the game. So let's go from here.
Oh, that's awesome. We'll see how long it takes to get back to your
Yeah.
It's so funny. Because I felt like that for a bit, and then after a few movies, I was like, oh, okay. Here's the dream. So.
So finally, what is coming up next for you after Apache Junction that you can talk about?
Oh man, I thought it's such a blessing because I've worked all of COVID, like literally all of it. I have a bunch of movies coming out, a bunch coming to Netflix. Of course, Apache. I have a movie called Captive. I have a movie called Model House. The Long Night. The Chariot, which I actually just got done filming, which was with John Malkovich, and that character that I played was a split personality character, so it was really, really fun to play her.
Oh, nice.
I'm about to go do an HBO show, John Wells' new HBO show that shoots in Hawaii, and then I'm going to go do another genre film called The Hollow, which is with Mekhi Phifer, and I'm really excited about that one. So, yeah, I've got a lot of stuff on my plate that it's good. I love that.
Yeah, it's good to keep busy, and I guess I'm taking it compared to Western and horror. If you had to choose Western or horror, I take it you'd still choose horror over Westerns.
I just choose filmmaking, man. It's what it is. I just choose, just filming. I love storytelling, and whether it's horror or Western or 70s or comedy. I choose filmmaking. I love it so much. I love being able to make these characters come alive off these scripts. It's just so fun for me.
That's
and
awesome.
Of course, I always have like a love for that horror genre.
Yeah, you remind me of Lynn Shay, because she's told me the same thing like on numerous times, that she's like a storyteller when it comes to acting, and
Oh, I love that.
and that's her take. She loves acting. Doesn't matter what. Of course, everyone knows her for the horror films, but that's
Yeah.
totally. And you totally remind me of her. You're gonna be the next generation's version of Lynn Shay, I think.
Oh, I love that. I love storytelling so much that I love like the casting and producing and directing. I'm about to direct my first feature next year, so.
Oh, I definitely gotta look out for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll definitely look out for that one.
Amazing. Thank you so much.
So Apache Junction's coming out on September the 24th, and those who love a good Western but like something a little different with the genre are going to want to see this one. And Scout, thank you so much for taking the time to talk again.
Thank you so much. It was so lovely talking to you.
All right, you take care and stay safe.
You too. Bye.
All right, bye-bye.